If you're a first-time home buyer, the first home savings account is one of the new items that was proposed in last year's budget, but just came out on April 1st. Here's the details and why, if you're a first-time home buyer, you should definitely consider opening one up. I'm Michael Ouzas. I'm a realtor in the Greater Toronto area. I'm curious to hear if you've actually opened up one of these accounts and started contributing to it this year. And as always, if you ever wanted to book in a call with me, click on that first link in the description down below or send me an email, michael@michaelouzas.com. So part of the federal government's initiatives was to open up a new first home savings account, which would move along with the tax-free savings account and the RSP. Now, each account has a different purpose, and when you invest in your RSP as a first-time buyer, you can actually pull out up to $35,000 on your first purchase and first property. That being said, that $35,000 would have to be repaid over the next 15 years. If you have a tax-free savings account, you can use that money for anything you wish, not just purchasing that first home. So why is the FHSA so great? Well, it actually combines benefits of both the TFSA and RSP when it comes to purchasing your first home. Let's go through some of the key details so you can make a more educated decision on whether or not this account is for you. Now, there's no shortage of articles to find details on the FHSA. I did find that Global News broke it down quite well, and you can find this on the Canada.ca website, although it is laid out a little clunkier. So I thought I'd just go to this article to kind of get to the nuts and bolts of the FHSA. So the first home savings account, you can use it alongside your TFSA and RSP. So it was originally a pledge of the 2022 federal budget, and it went live on April 1st. Now, if you wanted to open up one of these accounts, best to contact your bank, as some launched right away and others are planning launches for the summer. What exactly is the first home savings account? Well, it allows individuals to save up to $8,000 per year in a tax-free account with a maximum contribution room of $40,000. Unused contribution room will roll over to the next year, but the amount you can carry over from previous years is capped at $8,000. So basically, if you don't put in the $8,000 and only put in maybe $4,000, then you can carry the other $4,000 to the next year. But you can only carry a maximum of $8,000 when it comes to year over year. So your money's tax-free on the way in and on the way out, which means that any contributions we make will be deducted from your income for tax purposes, much like an RSP would be. And anything you take out will also be tax exempt, much like a tax-free savings account. So the money in the account must be put towards a down payment for a home. If you start saving and decide not to buy a home with the money in the account, it could be transferred tax-free to an RSP without counting against your contribution limits for that account. So the RSP does have a contribution limit per year. So this is a good avenue in case you don't end up using the FHSA. The other benefit of the FHSA is it can grow and be invested tax-free, offering a sheltered account where you can keep building your savings towards that first home purchase. This is just like the tax-free savings account, where any money that you invest in the account can grow and you don't pay tax when you withdraw it, unlike an RSP in that scenario. So what separates the FHSA from the TFSA or RSP? Well, it joins a list of existing registered savings accounts that, depending on how you use them, will have different implications for your taxes and what you're saving towards. The FHSA is similar to the RSP in that both mean your contributions are deducted from your taxable income. So when you file your taxes at the end of the year, you'll be more likely to see a return. Where the RSP differs is that it's not tax-free on the way out, meaning when you make a withdrawal, that amount will be added to your income for the year, potentially driving up what you owe in taxes. Now, the RSP also has a feature that lets you save towards real estate called the Home Buyers Plan. In this scenario, you can withdraw up to $35,000 from your RSP towards the purchase of a home, but you'll have to repay that amount over the next 15 years, or else that withdrawal could be added to your taxable income. So comparing it to the TFSA, your tax-free savings account, it also allows Canadians to grow their savings and investments without paying tax on returns made inside the account. But your savings goals with the TFSA can be a bit more fluid than with an FHSA. You can save towards a down payment if you like, but you could also keep those investments a bit more flexible if you're not sure home buying is in your future. TFSAs like RSPs and FHSAs are also subject to a yearly contribution allowance. But unlike the FHSA or RSP, the TFSA does not see your taxable income reduced when you make a contribution. So should you use an FHSA, a TFSA, or an RSP? This article also talks about why all three can be beneficial. So these accounts can be used together. And if you're wondering if your funds are best kept in a FHSA, TFSA, or RSP, you can use them in tandem to achieve your savings goals. Money in TFSA can be put towards any savings goal, while the RSP and FHSA can specifically be used in tandem to fund a home purchase. The $35,000 from the home buyer's plan can be added to funds from a first home savings account towards a down payment, and these funds can essentially be doubled if there's a second person contributing to the purchase. Doing maximum withdrawals from 2 RSPs, and if both buyers contribute the full $40,000 to their individual FHSAs, that can mean a total down payment of up to $150,000, and that's before any gains earned on funds invested within the FHSA over those 5 years. It does mention here that anyone who's already heavily invested in RSP who would prefer to use the new account, there are mechanisms in place to allow you to transfer funds from your RSP tax-free into an FHSA. So this article doesn't describe how that works, and I didn't find anything about this on the Canada.ca website. So if you do have any information on this and you've done this before, or you've read about it and can point a link in any of the comments down below on where people can get more information on this, that'd be amazing. The other piece about this is that there's no income tax reduction when you make the FHSA contribution in this way, but it does avoid you having to pay taxes on the withdrawal or to pay back money used via the home buyer plan. You also won't get back any contribution room for your RSP when you transfer to the FHSA. So I really like the option of the first home savings account for anybody saving for that first home. It gives you the benefits of both an RSP without having to pay back the $35,000 maximum over 15 years, and the benefits of a TFSA where you can invest that money tax-free and pull it out at any given time to purchase that first home. I'd love to hear your thoughts and if this is something that makes sense for you, and if you think that it's actually enough. And some people have heard where $8,000 is not exactly enough to move the needle to get into homeownership, but keep in mind that on your first property, you don't have to put down the full 20% unless you're buying over $1 million. So if you found any value in this video, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 followers by the end of 2023, and I'm going to keep pushing down the gas to get more and more videos just like this for people just like you. I'm Michael Ouzas. Thanks for watching.